hate Army, bro.
Shut up for hate.
I want to give you guys an update on the retro react that went down last night over on DSP Throwback, and also a hilarious follow-up to that, because my trolls are so effing stupid. They tried to cheat a poll in the most blatantly over-the-top obvious way. There's no possible way that you wouldn't know that they were trying to mess with it, especially because they've been talking about it all over the internet. They're so dumb. So I'll tell you the update on that. Alrighty then. Okay, so, well, alrighty. Actually, now I look like Ace Ventura. I just realized. Ace Ventura wears shirts like this, right? Okay, then. Anyway, so I guess I can take the sunglasses off now. The gag is up. Welcome, everyone, to the podcast. And I hope you're doing well. I hope that you're not going to be inundated all day long with bad jokes, because April 1st is a day when typically people like to try to fool you into believing nonsense. I would like to talk about last night's Retro React, okay? Because here's the thing. The idea for Retro React is that on my DSP Throwback channel, which is meant to be reminiscing about the past and nostalgia, all right? I sit down and I watch an older playthrough of mine, redone audio so you can hear my voice much better, and it takes out a lot of the echo and the nonsense that was in the original playthrough. It's actually suspenseful. You're like watching me fight the Asylum Demon. Like, is he gonna win? Is he gonna win? Right? It's pretty suspenseful. And then Heavy Rain. Oh my goodness. Show me the money. Among other things like Mass Effect 1, Bioshock 1, and stuff like that. So we had a poll, and Bully won by a pretty good margin. I want to say it was like 48% of the vote went to Bully. So we tried it last night. Now, I'll be honest, I was already skeptical. I didn't know how it was going to go, because this is not a fully narrative-heavy game. There's a lot of gameplay elements to it and stuff like that. And it's not, even though a lot of people like the Bully playthrough, it's not received as like a classic that I've done. A lot of people have watched it over the years and like it, but it's not, oh, that is the one playthrough that I watched of DSPs that I love and I rewatch, and it made me discover him on YouTube or anything like that, right? So we watched it, and it was about roughly just under 3 hours of reacting. We got through 10 parts of the playthrough, which is exactly what we were doing with Heavy Rain. We were doing about 10 parts in each stream. For the record, the playthrough is 108 parts. So if we were to actually continue with Bully and try to finish it, it would take about 2.5 months of react streams to actually get through the whole playthrough. Just throwing that out there. That's how long the game is. About, I think if you do the math, I want to say it's under 20 hours, but it's still a pretty lengthy game. Okay? So anyway. So I play it, and we're having a good time at first. It becomes apparent about halfway through the stream, it's definitely not as fun as doing the Heavy Rain Retro React. Like, even I started to feel a little bored because the game isn't as good as I remember. Probably because, you know, I've already played it before. It's a little dated now. There's still unique stuff to it. I think the music was one of the coolest things about the game. I really like the soundtrack. But some of the gameplay was a little repetitive. And I'm like, eh. And people wanted to talk about things like reminiscing about school days and stuff. And that's fine. That was actually fun. In truth, I had more time. I had more fun talking with the audience about our days at school and reminiscing about that than I did actually watching back the game. Just watching back the game to me wasn't that entertaining. Okay, and if I'm not having fun watching the game, it's not going to come through as a super entertaining stream. You know what I'm saying? So I did like it, but I didn't love it. I thought that it was just all right for a react stream. Okay? Cypress TV says that loud the loud sound that we heard last night on the Bully stream was my PC from 2011. Wow. It was that loud, huh? Holy shit. Because I was like, we always heard this ambient noise in the videos, and I'm like, is that the air conditioner? I looked it up. I played it in like February. There was no air conditioner on in February. So I was like, what could have been causing that atmospheric noise? And Cypress says, that was your PC. Oh my God. Boy, let me tell you guys something, all right? Today, things are so different, and I'm so happy for that. I was such a stubborn, pig-headed, obstinate idiot back then. to be putting out videos that long of that visual and audio quality and not understanding that the audience was going to leave if I didn't upgrade. Like, it was terrible. Even me watching it now, I'm like, oh, it's like hard to watch because you just hear, it's like, feels like you're in a wind tunnel trying to fucking watch this video. Like, oh, it sucks. So I'm glad now that things are different, but yikes, that video is hard to watch now. So anyway, so basically at the end of the night, all right, let me put it this way. Was it a disaster stream where no one showed up, no one engaged, and no one supported? Absolutely not. There was decent attendance. We had a good conversation in the chat, but it was nowhere near the levels that we had for Heavy Rain. Basically, you know, we didn't even hit the $50 tip skull, okay? We had a few super chats here and there, maybe 1 or 2 memberships, which is okay. And people are like, oh, well, this was good for a night stream. Well, technically, you're right. You know, usually my night streams don't do as well. They're slower, but I'm trying to maintain enough interest to keep this viable every Sunday night. You know, we easily could have done another game or continued with the playthrough you guys want, not doing these one-off streams that are just doing them for the sake of doing them, right? And with Heavy Rain, it was the opposite. Like, people were dying for more. By the end of the night, I asked you guys, what did you think? And the audience was torn right down the middle. Half of the attendance was like, yeah, that was a chill time. That was fun. Let's do it again next week. And the other half was like, yeah, that was pretty boring. By the end there, it really started to fall off. Let's do something different. So with a 50-50 split, I knew that I had to get feedback from everyone. So I put up a poll immediately. We actually did it right at the end of the stream. We put up a poll and said, hey, everybody, please vote on what you would like to see next week for Retro React. And here's the premise. 4 games, vote, and we'll do whatever wins the poll next week. If next week's stream ends up being more of the same, meaning less attendance, less engagement, less support, and it's just not as popular, then we're not going to do it every week. And that's okay. We don't have to do it every week. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm not upset at all. We have many, many things to do on the late streams. We have all these games to keep playing or whatever. So it's not a bad thing if we don't do Retro React every week. You see, it's actually perfectly fine. It's just that I want to be sure that I'm doing what you guys want. So basically, I put up a poll, and the poll was continue with Red Dead Redemption 1, which I think we gave it like one chance, and people didn't vote for it the next week, and then we took it out of the poll. So I said, we'll throw Red Dead back in there. Continue with Dark Souls 1, because actually some people on that stream were saying, this is kind of boring. Let's bring back Dark Souls 1. That one was really fun. So I said, let's put that on there. So continue with Bully, the third option. And then the fourth option is actually something that you guys had thought of yourselves and requested while we were playing Heavy Rain. Said, would you react to The Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 1? So for those who don't know, The Walking Dead Telltale series. So that's why I actually wasn't eligible for this week's Retro React. But after last night, I said, okay, well, you know, Bully didn't do so good. So let's do a poll, and let's actually put The Walking Dead into the poll and see if people would be interested in it, all right? So I put the poll up last night during the stream. Now, to give you guys some perspective here, all right? You ready? Last week's poll went up and lasted. It was live for a whole week. By the end of the week, it had about 475 to 500 votes within a week. It took a whole week to get that many votes. I put up the poll last night during last night's Retro React stream. This morning, 12 hours later, the poll already had 500 votes. What? So magically, the amount of people who followed the channel just exponentially increased in 12 hours, right? Huh? Like, what are you talking about, right? So then I go and I look. These people are so dumb. They left comments on the poll that were troll comments. I'm not shitting you. They left comments that were like, oh, do a bunch of pulls in the WWE mobile game and then play Bully next week. That's what we want. Like, I'm not kidding. Those comments were on the fucking poll, and I'm like, gee, I wonder if trolls were instructed to come over here and skew the poll. How stupid can you be? Like, I mean, you want to leave some evidence? You ever seen you got caught red-handed? I mean, this is like being caught in the act of doing it while 25 police officers are all staring right at you with videotaped evidence, audio recordings, and a satellite feed onto you. Like, how stupid can you be? On top of that, I had already been told by 2 different people overnight that apparently they've been talking about it in their stupid detractor circles that they were going to do this, skew the poll, because they saw that Bully didn't do good. And they were like, haha, if we get him to play Bully again next week, the stream will again do bad. And anything we can do to annoy or hurt Phil, we should do. Ha ha ha. So I'm not kidding. 500 votes, 78% of the vote was for Bully. Gee, I wonder if that could be fake. All right. So in light of all of this, I have redone the poll. I've deleted the original poll and I made a new one, and I took Bully out of it. And the reason being, I'm going to be honest, I don't think Bully worked very well last night. You know, I wanted to be fair and give it another shot, but it just didn't seem to work for me. Like, I got bored, and if I'm getting bored with what we're reacting to, that's not good. Like, I'll be honest, I was not bored with Red Dead. I was not bored with Dark Souls, and I was never bored with Heavy Rain. I was bored with Bully within an hour. So, I just don't think that's going to work, okay? So, now the poll's been redone, and there's 3 options. More Red Dead 1, more Dark Souls 1, or The Walking Dead. So please vote on one of those 3. I feel like any of those 3 would be a fine option, okay? And let me know, you know, your thoughts here all week. I'll be listening, what you think. But the funny part was, if you actually looked at the poll, yes, there were 500 votes, but if you eliminate all the votes for Bully, The Walking Dead was in the lead by a large margin. I think The Walking Dead had like 20%, something like that. And then the other 2 each had like 4 or 5% or something like that, like very small. So basically, if you look at the initial poll results and you try to remove the outliers of the idiots, definitely people are looking at The Walking Dead as the next one. But that may not be. Let's see what happens over the course of the week. I am aware on the stream, a lot of people were leaning towards Dark Souls 1. They were like, yeah, Dark Souls 1 worked, you know, really well as the first stream. Maybe bring that back. So, you know, please vote on the new poll that's over on DSP Throwback. If you want to know where it is, it's on the main channel page, and you go to the community tab, and it's right there. And I hope that you guys will vote. Now, Dab Hands just said in the chat, honestly, I'd rather see gameplay of current games than one of those. There you go. And if that's the case, again, this is a test case to see if this makes sense to do it every week. If we do another Retro React stream next week, and it's slower, and there's less engagement and less support, then I'm not going to do it every week. We'll do it maybe every 2 to 3 weeks as a variety event. And that way it won't bog down the other content and hold up the other content from making progress. And I hear you. A lot of people right now are happy to see the RPG madness end and just want to see good progress in all of the other games that I'm playing, and are afraid that if I keep doing things like this, that this is going to hold up progress because I just keep doing other night streams and other things rather than gameplay streams, right? So, let's see what happens. Please vote. And over the course of the week, I'll try to gauge interest and see, you know, how it goes and go from there. Okay? Fair enough? I'll look at comments. I'll listen to what people are saying, because, yes, these morons tend to talk about what they're going to do publicly because they're idiots. They can't help it. That's the thing. Like, they'll want to troll, but they're just so... They have no self-control whatsoever. They just want to, like, brag all over the internet about what they're doing. So they always give away what they're doing somewhere, and I always find out about it. Even though I literally never ask, people always bring this information to me without me even asking. They say, so here's what's going on, and here's the evidence of it, and do with it what you will. Okay, thanks. Well, fuck the poll. Delete it, because it's all fucked up from these idiots. And we'll start over and go from there, right? So we'll see what feedback we get. And again, I'll read comments, and I'll try to judge what you guys say here in the chat as well all week. And from there, we will decide what game will be Retro React for next week. Fair enough? Okay.
No!